What's up, Reds? Today is a massive day for Manchester United fans. The Premier League club just voted 14-6 to scrap the old Profit and Sustainability Rules, or PSR, and replace them with brand new Squad Cost Ratio Rules, otherwise known as SCR, starting from the 2026-27 season. SCR basically ties your spending to your revenue. The more you earn, the more you can spend. This is huge because it rewards big clubs like United with high revenues from tickets, TV deals, sponsorships, and merchandise. This is the best news we've received in years. Let me break it down super simple, no boring accounting talk, and explain exactly why this changes everything for Manchester United. First, let's recap the old PSR rules that have tortured us for so long. Under PSR, clubs could only lose a maximum of £105 million over 3 years, no matter how much revenue they generated. That meant even if United were pulling in hundreds of millions from global fans, we were still capped hard, forcing us to sell players or risk points deductions. Because of that, we had to sell academy kids and key players just to balance the books and stay legal. We were constantly one bad season away from breaches and points deductions like Everton and Forest suffered. It was like having a Ferrari engine, but being stuck in first gear, while clubs like City found every loophole to spend big. These old rules are no more at the end of this 25-26 season. For summer 2026, the new rule is beautiful and straightforward. You can spend up to 85% of your football revenue, plus any net profit you make from player sales on the first team squad costs. That includes wages, amortized transfer fees, agent fees, and even manager costs. Football revenue means all the money from matchday tickets, broadcasting rights, commercial deals like shirts and sponsors, and prize money. For United, that's always one of the highest in the world because of our global brand. There's even a 30% multi-year allowance built in for flexibility. This acts like a buffer. You can overspend the 85% by up to 30% in one season, and then underspend in the next few years to balance it out. It's perfect for a big rebuild without forced sales. Let's run the real numbers for Manchester United based on our latest official revenue from the 24-25 season, which was £666.5 million. 85% of that equals £566 million allowed, which would have allowed us to spend that in this past transfer window. If we use the full 30% multi-year bonus in one massive summer, that adds another £200 million, meaning up to £766 million would have legally been possible for Manchester United to spend in a single transfer window. That's over 5 times more freedom than the old PSR ever gave us. And here's the key explanation. Debt interest, stadium running costs, women's team expenses, academy investments, they do not count against the 85% limit at all. They're completely separate from squad costs, so even if United report an overall loss due to the Glazer debt, like the $33 million loss last year, it doesn't touch our ability to splash big on players. Now, the big question, if everyone gets the same rules, are United still screwed compared to our rivals? Not at all. This actually levels us right up with the top. Here's how the big clubs line up right now based on the latest available revenue figures. Manchester City had a £713 million revenue, which would have allowed them to spend £606 million under SCR. Manchester United had a £666.5 million revenue, which would have allowed them to spend £566 million. Basically the same as City, the gap is tiny. Liverpool had a £614 million revenue, which would have allowed them to spend £522 million. Tottenham had a £550 million revenue, which would have allowed them to spend £467 million. Chelsea had a £513 million revenue, which would have allowed them to spend £436 million. And Arsenal had a £467 million revenue, which would have allowed them to spend £397 million in one transfer window. This means every single year, if figures stay the same, we have somewhere in the range of £40 to £170 million more spending power than Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, and Spurs. That's an extra world-class player every summer just because our revenue is bigger and more stable. Plus, Newcastle might grow, but right now they're way behind at around $395 million total revenue, which would have allowed them to spend only $336 million. There's also a second safety net rule called Squad Spending Rule, or PSR, which caps spending at 4.5 times your revenue in a single season. For United, that would be around £3 billion, a number we can never realistically hit in one summer transfer window. It's really there to stop insane takeovers like a future Newcastle from buying everyone in one go, but for established giants like us, it does absolutely nothing. The verdict? This is the single biggest rule change for Manchester United over 20 years. From summer 2026, the handbrake is off, so Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos finally get the keys to the full toy shop to rebuild properly. United go from one of the most restricted big clubs to one of the least restricted, second only to City, and the gap is tiny. The sleeping giants seem to be in a position to wake up. Smash the like button if you're buzzing for 2026. Glory, glory, Manchester United. See you in the comments. Let me know who we're buying first, and don't forget to smash that like button.